Hi, John Libinati here with Gluten-Freeworks.com. This video is going to tell you 4 things that stop people from healing on the gluten-free diet. I'm going to use our book, Recognizing Celiac Disease, to read a study to you. These are the results of a study on 39 people who had clinically responded to a gluten-free diet. That means they felt better, they improved. That they'd maintained for a mean of 8.5 years. So they've been on a gluten-free diet for 8.5 years. And among these people, endoscopic appearance was normal in 23%. That means when the doctor put a scope down into their small intestine, only 23% looked normal. All right. Reduced duodenal folds were present in 46%, scalloping of folds 33%, mucosal fissures in 44%, nodularity in 33%, and there was more than one abnormality in 46%. Now, what all that means is that when they looked at the intestines, they didn't look right in most of them. The histology, or the cell structure, so when they did a biopsy and they looked at it under a microscope, was normal in only 21%. That's a little bit more than 1 in 5. The remainder had villous atrophy, 69%, partial, and 10% total. The lack of adherence to a strict gluten-free diet is the main reason for poorly controlled disease in adults. All right? So what you're hearing is that the majority of people don't heal all the way after starting a gluten-free diet. But the reason they don't heal is because of lack of adherence to a gluten-free diet. And what does that mean? That just means they're getting gluten somehow. It doesn't mean that they're eating pizza and bagels and bread. It means that something is getting gluten into their system. And I'm going to tell you 4 ways that we inadvertently get gluten. Okay? And eating gluten, of course, is going to stop us from improving, and it's going to worsen the problem. The first one is that a person might not understand the gluten-free diet. They don't know what a real gluten-free diet is. And a real gluten-free diet means it's gluten-free. That means 100% strict. No wheat, no barley, no rye, and no oats. And although I understand the current definition is no wheat, barley, and rye, oats for a long time was considered gluten, and it does affect many people. And certain strains of oats, even pure strains, can elicit the same type of reaction as wheat. Generally, the damage you get from oats, or the clinical response, the symptoms take longer to develop. But oats is not a prudent course of action when you are on a gluten-free diet. So no wheat, no barley, no rye, and no oats. And a person can say, okay, I won't eat any of that stuff. I won't eat bread. I won't eat the bagels. I won't drink the beer. But there are many hidden ingredients in foods that you might not see, might not notice. So it's very important to gain as much knowledge as possible about what these hidden ingredients are, what is safe and what is not safe. And we have all of this information at glutenfreeworks.com for you. Okay, so the first way that people get gluten, and the first thing that stops them from healing, is they don't know the gluten-free diet. They don't understand it. The second thing is not being serious. All right? We have to be deadly serious about this, because celiac disease and gluten sensitivity are deadly serious problems. And not recovering means that your life is going to be impacted. Maybe you won't be on a hospital gurney, but maybe it will affect your interactions with family members. Maybe it will affect your job. Maybe it will affect your life in some other way. So we want to be deadly serious about this gluten-free diet. I can tell you, when I first went gluten-free, when I first started over 13 years ago, I remember being out with friends Friday night, and everybody got pizza. And I remember thinking, well, I'll just take the cheese off the top. I should be okay, because I'm not actually eating the bread part of it. That's an example of not being serious, and thank God I don't do that anymore. Actually, the next day, I realized it was a terrible idea. But not being serious is the second issue. The third issue is not reading labels. Reading labels is crucially important. Reading labels in the supermarket, reading labels at a restaurant, reading labels at a Super Bowl party. If you're looking at the dip at a Super Bowl party and it looks scrumptious, ask, Who made the dip? Charlie made the dip. Okay, Charlie, what's in the dip? Sour cream, cheddar cheese, guacamole, this fantastic spice packet. Fantastic spice packet, huh? What's in the spice packet? If Charlie doesn't have the label there, if he's not exactly sure, if he says, well, it's just spices, you have to make a decision. Are you going to eat this and potentially hurt yourself, or are you not? Not reading labels is the third reason why people don't get better. Lastly is eating out. I think I've just read the average person eats out 3 to 4 times a week in the United States. If you're eating out at restaurants, I'm not saying don't eat out at restaurants, but if you're eating out at restaurants and these restaurants don't have a dedicated gluten-free kitchen, you are more than likely going to get contaminated with gluten. And you might say, well, I eat there all the time. The manager's great. Or my server's fantastic. The server might be fantastic, and he might know everything about it because his girlfriend has celiac disease and he's totally up on everything. But if you go in there one day and he's gone because he went back to college, you have to, again, make sure that all along the line, these people know who you are, that you have celiac disease. Can they accommodate your gluten-free diet? Is there going to be contamination in the kitchen? If the manager comes back to you and says, all we can give you is scrambled eggs that we can guarantee, then that's all they can guarantee. So fourth, eating out at restaurants is another way, the fourth way in my list here, that people get gluten and then don't improve or worsen. So I don't want to make this video just to scare you. I just want to give you these reasons, kind of like to reaffirm, things to look for, So we always want to educate ourselves, because that reason number one, not understanding the gluten-free diet, items change, ingredients change, products change, new things come out. These companies, especially large companies, use different products with crazy names like hydrolyzed vegetable protein and stuff like that, and we have to know what these are so we can avoid it. The second thing is we always have to be serious, and it's easy to be a little bit lax, especially after you've been doing this for a long time, and you think, I got it under control, I know exactly what I'm doing, I know the foods I can eat, I can't eat, I've been eating this forever. Whoops, why does it have gluten in it when it hasn't had gluten in it for the past 5 years? All right, so those are things to look out for. And then lastly is always read the labels. Always know where it's coming from. The more you know about this, what you're putting in your body, the more likely you are to be healthy. And finally, restaurants. You got to watch the restaurants. They're a minefield. All right, so I hope this video has helped you. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks again. This is John Libinati with GlutenFreeWorks.com.